तो हेल्प व्हाट्सअप गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज वापस आ गया। इंट्रो हक दिया मैंने, इंट्रो हक दिया, कोई बात नहीं। नया गेम है ये। तो शुरू करते हैं गेम। ग्राफिक्स बहुत सही थे इसके। ये फ्री में आया था गेम पहले, तभी ले लिया था मैंने एपिक गेम्स पे। कॉपीराइट नहीं करता। स्किप कर सकते हैं, स्किप हो गया। ये गेम मैंने पहले कभी भी नहीं खेला नहीं है और देखा भी नहीं है मैंने। लाइब्रेरी में पढ़ा हुआ था इसलिए देखा कि स्ट्रीम कर लेता हूँ। ओके, गोली चली। ओके भाई, शर्लॉक होम्स है। करना क्या है मेरे को? सोफा।
Holmes, will you stop that? You are utterly mad.
गन ले ले, गन ले ले। क्या हुआ?
Stop, Holmes.
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded.
Watson, quiet please. I'm trying to concentrate.
Okay. करना
He
क्या
can
अभी?
see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
कत्ल हो गया किसका तो?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
अरे गेम कब
Yes
चालू हो गया
and
क्या?
no. In
बहुत
fact, this
बातें कर
crime
रहे
is
लोग।
so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The Medi men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments.
अरे भाई स्किप करो भाई, इतना बातें कर रहे हैं। प्रेस टैब टू ओपन। ये मैप है, ये क्या? ओके, ये क्या? इन्वेस्टिगेट करना है। इन्वेस्टिगेट द मर्डर ऑफ पीटर कैरी, द क्राइम सीन। पहले यहाँ से तो निकलना है। ओ भाई सेंसिटिविटी बहुत ज़्यादा है। ओके अभी भी ज़्यादा है।
This is where I keep my post. This is where I keep my post.
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
जाना कहाँ है? दरवाज़ा किधर है? ओके ठीक है। जब बाल चाहिए कैसे? नहीं हैट है, ये हैट। गंजा सही है। ये वाला बेस्ट है। गिफ्ट कौन सा है भाई? हाँ ये बेस्ट है। अरे हुआ ही नहीं क्या? अंधेरे में कुछ दिख भी नहीं रहा ठीक से। थोड़ा यही पहनते हैं। अच्छा अवेलेबल नहीं है क्या? अवेलेबल है। ओके अवेलेबल नहीं था। अरे भाई अटक गया मैं।
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
घर के बाहर निकलते कैसे?
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here.
करना क्या था इसमें अभी? तो वुड्समैन ली किधर है?
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
भाग नहीं सकता, हाँ भाग सकते भाग सकते।
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Madam, can you tell me
अच्छा,
if you
decision
saw
वाला
or
game है ये।
heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Okay.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin
बेवड़ा
before
साला।
passing out.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. We lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
मेरे को लगा इसके बीवी नहीं मारा है। करना क्या? ओके नहीं नहीं
Thank you, madam.
ये उसका हस्बैंड है। करना क्या यहाँ पे?
Mr. Holmes?
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
बोल रहा उसकी बीवी नहीं मारा है। अभी करना क्या?
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care...
शायद से तो जाने शायद से।
This window is locked from the inside. I do not see any attempt at a break-in.
साहिल वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम। करना क्या है यहाँ पे?
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
रुक भाई, टास्क क्या था? हैप्पी दिवाली भाई साहिल। अरे भाई क्या है ये? तो वापस यहाँ पे आने शायद से।
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes.
गेम का नाम है क्राइम्स
Life
एंड
with Peter
पनिशमेंट,
was never
शर्लॉक
easy,
होम्स।
but he was still
टाइटल
my
में लिखा है ना?
husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met
टाइटल
him
में लिखा
upon
है।
your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
क्या करना था? ओके, मेरे मेरा
You
ध्यान ही
have
नहीं था।
indeed suffered a great...
Yes.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
ओके, अरे नहीं 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 नहीं, गलत गलत कर दिया। फक हो गया, फक हो गया।
Never mind.
अरे भाई वापस
You
करना
have
पड़ेगा।
indeed suffered...
Yes.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
अरे क्या हो रहा है भाई? अरे क्या हो रहा है? एक मिनट,
Never
मैं क्यों दबा नहीं पा रहा भाई, फॉर सम रीजन।
mind.
ओके,
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon. He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
क्या हो रहा है भाई? मैं क्यों दबा रहा हूँ? कुछ और ही खुल रहा है। तो मैं गेम रिस्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ। ये
Never mind.
मैं गेम रिस्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ। कंटिन्यू, रुक भाई, गेम रिस्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ मैं। एक मिनट भाई, मैं गेम रिस्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ, जो भी देख रहा है। ये कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो गया मेरा। कंट्रोल से चेंज करते हैं। अरे फक हो गया भाई।
The garden is...
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
You...
Yes.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
भाई कुछ
Yes,
तो क्यों
Mr.
दबा।
Holmes.
नहीं अभी ठीक है, अभी
Oh,
ठीक
my
है।
goodness, but how do you know about
ठीक
that?
कर दिया मैंने। आंसर क्या था? ओ
You undertook a
आंसर सही था।
pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
Sherlock Holmes 5000 IQ है भाई।
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
अभी शायद से बुक खोलना।
I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here.
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes?
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
मैं अभी भी बोल रहा हूँ भाई, इसने पत्नी ने मारा इसके। ब्रो बस 8 व्यूज चाहिए और 1200 व्यूज कंप्लीट। किसका? मेरी बात कर रहा है क्या?
Mr. Holmes?
साहिल तो किसका बात कर रहा है? भाई चढ़ते कैसे यहाँ पे? कंट्रोल बताओ भाई। एफ से कुछ क्या होता है?
These scratches are
अच्छा ये करना था
fresh.
क्या?
You're right. Someone tried to force open
ओए
the
मेरे को भी नहीं
door.
मालूम कि 1200
I
व्यूज
swear
कंप्लीट होने
these
वाले मेरे।
scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
ओके ओपन हो गया। ओ भाई
What a terrible way to die.
हाथी के आर पार हो गया इसके। ये क्या है?
The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. The initials rum, a sailor's drink. Someone drank from this glass recently. It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
मेरे को लगता है इसमें जहर मिलाया था।
Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8. Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting.
बॉडी को लास्ट में देखेंगे।
Harpoons for hunting whales.
हारपून से ही मारा है इसको तो।
The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
फिर अभी इंस्पेक्ट करते इसको। चाकू भी है यहाँ पे।
This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body.
शायद से चाकू से मारने आया था और उसके दुश्मन ने जो भी ने इससे मार दिया हारपून से।
JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. JH. The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer.
ये सॉल्व हो गया शायद से।
Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was... This man is in his... Peter Carey was impaled... The weapon for... Peter Carey was...
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
Mr. Holmes?
ये तो बस एक ही बात करता है।
Have you finished
Mr.
inspecting the
Holmes?
crime scene?
सब में यही करना मेरे को लगता है।
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. someone... Run.
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
इंस्पेक्ट तो कर लिया सब
It
शायद.
seems that the garden was well maintained.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband. Who?
ओके. शायद से हो गया शायद से जो भी करना था.
I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here.
बहुत ही फालतू गेम है भाई ये. तो समझ में नहीं आ रहा.
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
This man is in his 50s.
भाई करना क्या है?
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
ऐसे सब हो चुका है.
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded. This man is in his 50s.
बी से क्या होता है?
The weapon fully penetrated the body. The murder weapon. This place
अरे
is
हो
not
गया
covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps.
अभी करना क्या? अच्छा अभी हो गया शायद से.
Have you finished inspecting
अरे
the
भाई
crime
अभी भी नहीं
scene?
हुआ क्या?
This place is not covered with dust. An object was...
ये ऑब्जेक्ट ढूंढना है क्या हम लोग को शायद से? ऑब्जेक्ट है किधर?
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn. Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
ओके, किसने चुरा लिया वो?
Thank you, madam.
तो घर के अंदर जा नहीं सकते क्या हम लोग?
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
This place, an object.
वो बॉक्स मिल नहीं रहा, कहाँ पे ये बॉक्स?
Mr. Holmes?
Who could do such a thing?
यहाँ पे फुटप्रिंट्स है। शेल्फ तो ढूंढ लिया। कुछ करना क्या है बूट्स के साथ?
I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here.
तो हम भी असैसिन क्रीड का गेम प्ले कर। हाँ हाँ, मेरे पास कोई गेम नहीं है असैसिन क्रीड का, डाउनलोड करना पड़ेगा। मैंने अभी तक बस एक ही गेम खेला उसका, ओरिजिन्स खेला मैंने असैसिन क्रीड का।
This man is in his... The ship's logs of the sea.
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
This place is not covered with dust. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box, or a...
भाई मेरे को कुछ समझ नहीं आ
Who
रहा.
could do such a thing? My poor husband.
कुछ और कर सकते हैं क्या?
Mr. Holmes?
अंदर क्या है यहाँ पे?
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
जो भी इसके बाहर ही कुछ तो रहेगा अभी.
The murder...
छोड़ो भाई, मैं स्ट्रीम यहाँ पे एंड कर रहा हूँ. मिलते हैं अगली लाइव स्ट्रीम पे.
I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling. I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because